We're going to be giving you a taste of some of the great stand-up talent that is breaking through on the comedy club circuit right now. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Leo Reich?
Oh, my God, thank you. I'm Leo, and I'm kind of toying with the idea of joining a religion. But my problem is that the only, real link to a religion that I have is to Judaism. My family's Jewish, and I feel like it might be a mistake to, throw myself into my Jewishness in the midst of this sort of global throwback Thursday to 1939. Because, there do seem to be a lot of Nazis kicking around, which, don't get me wrong, is vintage, but... I do also think, maybe part of the reason there are so many Nazis around at the moment is people have sort of forgotten exactly why the Nazis were bad. And I say this because my American friend visited me before lockdown and I was showing her around London. And at a certain point, she turned to me and she was like, you know, if it weren't for us, you'd all be speaking German. I was like, something has gone very wrong. If you think that the worst thing that would have happened if Hitler had won the war would have been the linguistic shift. As if the British Jews would be sort of marched off to their deaths, all the English people going, lucky bastards. At least they have to learn fucking German. So many tenses. That's the real crime against humanity. I've been Leo Reich. Thank you.
Very funny. Thank you, Leo. It's the wonderful Sukh Ojla.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sukh, which is short for Sukhjeet, which is Sanskrit for you're never going to find it on a fucking keyring in a gift shop. Like a lot of successful women my age, I live in a house share. With my parents. It's essentially like living in the most passive-aggressive Airbnb of all time, except you can't even leave them a bad review. Decor outdated, furniture covered in plastic, host keeps trying to feed me whilst giving me weight loss advice, 2 stars. I had quite a different childhood to a lot of my friends growing up, because we didn't have a lot of money. You know, we didn't really get to go on holidays. I used to dread going to school after the 6 weeks holidays because all the white kids would be like, we went to the Costa del Sol. All the well-off Asian kids would be like, we went to Canada to see my cousins. And I'd be like, well, we all took the coach up to Bradford. And I had to just sit indoors and watch whatever my uncle had recorded off the telly. And amazingly, the most depressing part of that sentence isn't the word Bradford. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been absolutely fantastic. I've been Sukh Ojla. Thank you so much.
The marvellous Laura Smyth.
Thank you, thank you. Excited to be here. Been working from home with 3 kids, so I'm excited to be anywhere, basically. Let's face it. Working from home's weird, isn't it? Because, you know, it's like work without the fun and fulfilling bits, mostly just slagging colleagues off to other colleagues, isn't it, really? That's the stuff we've missed. I live by, if you ain't got anything nice to say, meet you at lunchtime, babes. Been good, though. Good to slow down, stop, spend some time with my kids, really get to know them. Like my eldest. No, you do, you're getting to know them. Stopping, slowing down. I think, like, my eldest, I think she said her name was Rose. Oh. Sweet. Forget the others. It's good. Got to testing, though. We had some trying times, had some moments. Started doing mindfulness. You heard of this? My big brother was telling me about it because he runs his own business. And when things get too much for him as a rich white man, he says, what you do, Law, you just got to stop and say the things that you know to be true. So I just stop, he says to me, I just stop and say I'm just a man in a room trying my best. Thought, all right, I'll give it a little go. Found a little quiet spot indoors. I'm just a woman in a cupboard hiding from my kids. It works, guys, it works.
Laura Smyth, ladies and gentlemen. OK, will you please welcome onto the stage Michael Odewale.
How's everybody doing? You guys good? Yeah. It's been interesting seeing a lot of these like racial protests going on recently, because a lot of people have been doing some soul searching, you know? I had someone I went to school with like 10 years back. They sent me a message apologizing for calling me a racial slur in a maths class all those years ago. They sent this big message just saying like, man, I was a different person back then. I was so ignorant. And I saw that message, right? And I replied. I was like, hey, man, it's good to see that you're not racist anymore. But we weren't in the same maths class. You have the wrong black guy, actually. It wasn't me. It's funny because it was me. I just wanted to fuck with him. I just thought that'd be good. You know? Man. I feel bad for all of these kids who had like their exams fucked up because of the algorithms. Like it made me think of my cousin because he failed his exams last year, so that was just his own stupidity. Do you know what I didn't like about what my cousin did when he failed his exams? I didn't like when he got his grades back. He posted his grades on Instagram with the caption, "The haters are plotting my downfall." I saw that and I was confused. For somebody to plot your downfall, you need to be at the top of something in the first place, understand? Like, you can't fall from the bottom. That doesn't make any sense. That's not how it works. I feel bad for my cousin as well because his parents, they put a lot of pressure on him growing up. They wanted him to have a strong, powerful name growing up, so they named him Success, which is like, it's a bit too on the nose, isn't it? It's a bit too much pressure. And also, I feel like enough time has passed now to see that that name clearly hadn't worked out for him. It wasn't the best name. I call him Pharmacist. I think that's a far better name for him. Because he's a drug dealer now, so it makes more sense. Like it fits better.
Michael Odewale, ladies and gentlemen. The fabulous Josh Jones.
Hello. This is very exciting. It's so different to my normal gigs because I'm from Manchester. So normally my gigs are in the northwest of England in working men's clubs on Friday and Saturday nights for big burly boys on the stag do. And they all start shouting out straight away and they try to put me down. So I have to let them know at the beginning. I'm like, boys, listen. I might evidently be gay as fuck with a personality that's brighter than the sun itself. But I'm not a pushover. Start running your mouth and I will shove my cock in it. So, yeah. I didn't come out the closet until I was 20, and even then I was really confused because I had a sex dream involving a woman. What? That's crazy. I know it is. In the dream, I was there like proper going for it, like proper giving it my all, and she was there like, oh, get off my husband. So that's when I knew. And my name's Josh Jones. Thank you very much. Bye.
Woo! Josh Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please welcome the very funny and the very tall Joe Hobbs.
Thanks so much. I am a big boy. I'm 6'9". Oh, thanks, I grew myself. 6'9", also a sex position I'm too tall to do. I've tried it, like, just end up sucking on a kneecap, innit? I grew up on a council estate with my mum, proper working class upbringing, you know, but I was dating a posh girl recently. Like, I can't believe how some of you posh people out there live. Like, I went to a family home, like, huge house, you know, pet chickens, a dad. What the fuck? I never see a domesticated dad before. You know what I mean? I see him in the wild, like, prowling around the estate at night. This one was in the house. Blew my mind. I wanted to impress this family. They were proper educated people, so I started reading some books, highlighting all the words I never heard of. I learned them so I could use them while I'm around there. Favourite word I learned was undurfed, which means hungry. It's good, isn't it? Yeah, you know, like I might say, I'm feeling a bit undurfed, and he'd be like, what's undurfed? And I'll be like, read a book, mate. Yeah. You clap, mate, but I only found out a few days ago that undurfed is actually pronounced underfed. Yeah. You lot are lovely. I've been Joe Hobbs. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Go Hobbs, ladies and gentlemen. Great set. Thank you, guys. Will you please welcome Ray Badran?
So they say dolphins, right? Dolphins. Dolphins are the only other mammals on the planet that have sex for pleasure. And I'm thinking, not the one I'm fucking. You know? No, we're trying for a baby. Anyway. So I accidentally stole a pizza recently. I was at home. I was quite hungover. I was with my partner. We're going through various options while we can get delivered to the house. And as we're going through the various options, there's a buzz on the door. And I go over to the door, I open up the door, and it's a pizza delivery guy. He goes, "I've got your pizzas." And I said, "Oh, we haven't ordered any pizzas." And he goes, "Oh, they're paid for by credit card." And I said, "Oh, maybe I ordered some pizzas." Huh? And I took the pizzas. I didn't know how I'm not a religious guy, but at the time, I was pretty sure God sent us the pizzas, right? I didn't know. So I took them inside, trying to figure out what was happening. I put them on the table. I said to my partner, I said, what should we do? They're obviously for someone else in the building. Should we just wait for a bit, right? And as I'm saying this, I turn around and she's already started eating the pizza. It's too late now. So I sit down and I decide to start eating the pizza. And I get like 2 bites into the first slice. And the guy comes back and he just starts buzzing on our apartment door. And at this point, we just had to keep eating the pizza, right? We just keep eating the fucking pizza. And he's buzzing, and the buzzer's going off around us, and we're eating this pizza, and it's quite a loud buzzer. And then we look up, he can see us through the window as well. So he's buzzing and looking at us the whole time while we're eating this pizza, and this buzzer's going off, and he's just standing there staring at us. And I'm like, come on, man, we're trying to have dinner, you know? Anyway, thanks for having me. Have a good night. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ray Badran, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please welcome onto the stage Chloe Petts?
Hello. Hey guys, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. My name is Chloe Petts. I'm a very masculine woman, but I sort of haven't always been this masculine. I used to sort of try and assimilate into straight culture and pretend that I was one of the straights, but I wasn't very good at it. So I remember when I was 15 years old, I was sat around watching the telly with a bunch of my girlfriends, and they were going around the circle talking about all the boys that they fancy, right? And it goes around the circle and it gets to me and they're like, "Oh, Chloe, who do you think's hot?" And I just panicked, looked at the telly and went, I don't know, he's quite fit. That was Claire Balding. But my friends are kind of like, got used to the fact that I get misgendered now. But what I try to explain to them is it happens a lot more than the untrained I might realise. So there's this very specific time when I'm queuing in a bar and I'm pressed up against a bunch of people and a guy wants to get past me. If he thinks I'm a man or if he thinks I'm a woman, he'll treat me in 2 really different ways. So if he thinks I'm a man, what he'll do is he'll start by putting his hand on my shoulder and then he'll go, "Sorry, mate." And then he'll put his dick as far away from my arse as possible so as not to be mistaken for a homosexual at any point in that social transaction. That's the first way if he thinks I'm a man. If he thinks I'm a woman, what he'll do is he'll start much the same, hand on shoulder, but this time he'll say, "Sorry, love." Then he'll run his hands down my back, grab me by the hip, shag me a little bit and just pop me out the way. Guys, you've been an absolute pleasure. I've been Chloe Petts. Thank you so much. Take care.
Chloe Petts. OK, next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Stephen Buchanan.
Hello. My name's Stephen. I'm from Glasgow. No one gives a fuck. Good. Glasgow gets quite a violent reputation. And this is only based on stuff like statistics. Being from Glasgow, you need to know how to protect yourself. I've devised a survival tip. What I do when I'm walking the main streets is I always keep my keys between my knuckles. That way, if someone tries to attack me, I'm ready to just give them my car. I'm moving in with my girlfriend soon. Thank you. Looking forward to it. We decided to have a trial run of living together first, so we went on holiday. That was her idea of a trial run, a weekend in Amsterdam. Because that's going to prepare you for living the rest of your life in a 1-bedroom flat in Glasgow. We went to like Amsterdam, it was cool. I like the city break. I'm not really a party holiday kind of guy. You know, I always toy with the idea of going to like Ibiza, and then I remember that last year I had to give up drinking tea because the caffeine was giving me chest pains. Don't know if I'm going to fit in at Ocean Beach. Everyone's off their face in pills. I'm having a panic attack because I had 2 Earl Greys with lunch. That's all I've got time for. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Stephen Buchanan, ladies and gentlemen.